Alrighty, today is Base and Renaissance. And at a glance, this looks quite strong. So we have two of the best trashers in the game, with Recruiter and Sentry. Recruiter is also a village, as is Throne Room. Scepter, a distant third, but also a village. For plus buy, we have Spices and Council Room, and Sculptor can gain things. The only draw card is Council Room. Recruiter says plus 2 cards, but since you have to trash a card as well, it's not draw, it doesn't increase your hand size. So, got everything we need to build. The only thing that seems slightly awkward to me is Council Room is the only draw. I find can be a little bit finicky to play with, because if you had a bunch of Council Rooms, then you end up way overdrawing your deck. And here there's no way to make use of overdraw, like you can't gain and play additional things. Well, I mean, you can gain things with Sculptor, but they gain straight to your hand, so you don't need the draw. And if you only had a few Council Rooms, well then you're playing a little bit fast and loose of, did I find a Council Room in my starting hand? Your opponent's Council Rooms will draw you a bunch of cards, but an uncertain number, so it's kind of hard to play around. With Council Room, I think the difficulty is just like managing the correct amount of Council Rooms and like balancing draw versus reliability. So anyways, how are we opening? Oh yeah, Sinister Plot actually kind of helps resolve the problem I was talking about. If you get plot at some point, you could always call it on a turn where your Council Room was not your starting hand to avoid a dud scenario. So you get Sinister Plot, you could probably play on the lower side of number of Council Rooms and be fine. Exploration is basically just like +1 coffers, +1 villager once, usually. Because if you buy it, it's active by the end of your buy phase that turn. And if you just bought this, you didn't gain anything, so it triggers immediately. But then on subsequent turns, you tend to be gaining things, and so it usually doesn't trigger again. How to open? Definitely want to hit 5. Everything good here looks like it costs 5. Even the 4s you want. Like, I'd be happy to have Thrones and Patrons, but I think you gain those off of Sculptor. So, probably Silver and Exploration, I would think. Exploration is 100% guaranteed to hit 5. Even if the Silver bottom decks, you'll have at least one hand, or exactly one hand, turn 3 or turn 4 with 4 money in it. And then you just burn a coffer that turn to get yourself to 5, and you still got the 5 that you wanted. The other option I think here would be Patron. Silver Patron is effectively just silver, but Patron is a silver that's at least banking up some villagers, but it's kind of nice. And silver is like roughly 92% to hit 5 at least once, I believe. That's probably a little bit more likely to hit double 5, which is great. And it's also adding you an extra card that you probably wanted to your deck anyway. But I think I'm just going to take the safe route and do the thing that guarantees 5. The bot apparently just took the shortcut of having 5-2 directly. Fair enough. What do I buy here? Probably Sinister Plot now. Costs a coffer, but because I'm buying Plot and nothing else, it actually will activate the Exploration. I'll get the coffer back. Yeah, I mean, I could take a second Silver or a Merchant, which does sound fine too, but I think I'm just going to go ahead and do this, because I want it at some point. And I would like to buy the Plot on a turn when I have exactly like 4 or less, because if I buy it later in the game when I have like 9 and 2 buys, and I buy a 5 and a Plot, then I don't actually get the Exploration benefit off of it, because I'll still gain something. Yeah, I think first 5 here, definitely Recruiter. One of the best cards in the game, like, I don't know, top 5 probably. Sentry also a top tier card, but I think Recruiter is better in general, but it looks super better in this kingdom to me, just because Council Room being your main draw. I think trashing a few cards and having villagers so that you can play the Council Rooms seems much more valuable than getting very thin. Sentry's main benefit being it trashes more cards more quickly. But like if I still have a few coppers left in my deck, that's fine. I'm more worried about getting the estates out of the deck and getting actions. Next turn, I should draw everything off of the Recruiter. I'll have a Silver and 3 coppers. So I think I'm just taking Council Room now, and then probably a Payload card, Spices or Sculptor next turn. Bot takes a Merchant. Okay. I'm going to say Sculptor seems better. There's just a bunch of cheap things that I want to gain. And token. Yeah, I don't need to pop this here. I'd be overdrawing if I did. I'm not guaranteed to find the recruiter, but I was pretty likely to. Unfortunately, I didn't find the sculptor, which is a little bit of a bummer. 7. 7 is nothing special. I also bottom deck the silver. Just another 5, I guess. One more sculptor. I might activate the plot here. Think that's worth it? I don't know. Add the token. I think I'm gonna take a gamble here. Throne room, sculptor, double merchant, and hope to draw into one of my draw cards. There we go. Okay, that was a risk, but it paid off. Now I need plus buy. And maybe just one more spices or one more sculptor. I'll take one more spices. And here I think we'll trigger the plot. I've only got the one council room, and then I can add a second one this shuffle. If I hadn't had this plot down, I definitely would have added a second council room sooner. But I know with a bonus +5 card sitting there, it was okay to kind of under-buy draw cards for a moment. And at some point I was going to not find the council room and find it this way. Did I say find the council room? Did I throw in the merchant, or did I throw in the sculptor and gain merchants? Let's just play at least one merchant and we'll reevaluate. Okay. I don't actually need to play this council room. Now that I'm thinking about it. Yeah, what if I just don't play the council room so I don't draw the bot anything? We'll sculpt the throne room and a silver. Oh, and actually not a throne room. I forgot I had another throne room play incoming. Just 2 silvers, I guess. And throw in the merchant. And I've drawn the deck without playing the council room. I have too many buys. I guess I'll take a province already. This kingdom's going to be kind of explosive, so I think greeting early is not that ridiculous. Maybe a third council room? Okay, I got 2, and I can throne 1. I'm just going to take another recruiter, actually, maybe. Like, I'm fine playing recruiter, trashing a copper. Kind of like a lab, if I don't value the copper. I'll take a second one. Oh my. Alright, bot. Dig me out of this hole. Bot trashes the merchant. Okay. Okay, well this hand's already gotten better. Still haven't found a council room, but I can throne sculptor, gain 2 merchants, and at least draw 2 cards. Bot is very aggressive with the sculptors and throne rooms, which is not necessarily a bad thing. Alright, yeah, this turn's getting a lot better from what it looked like at the start. Yeah, I think, I mean, the bot did have the 5-2, so that's a little bit of an advantage, but the bot looks like it's playing this pretty well. It's got council rooms, thrones, recruiters, sculptors. We have very similar decks. And that is my metric of, is the bot doing well? Does this deck look like my deck? Let's do the safe thing and throw in the recruiter, I think. Well. Where are my council rooms at? At this point, there might even just be a case for not even trying to find them. Because, like, If I just stop here, I've already found most of my payload, and I've left both my council rooms on top, which is kind of nice. The main thing I really want to find is another plus buy card, probably. I mean, maybe I just do double province here. I gain throne room, throne sculptor, gain 2 silvers. I have 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 money. I could do double province with 2 coffers, I think, if I counted that right. Then provinces are at 5. How much other stuff do I have down there? Honestly, I don't remember. What did I play last turn? 2 of those bottom 7 are council rooms. Okay. So I had 6 coppers, trash those. There's more merchants down there, I think. And other spices. The spices is the one card I really want to find, but honestly I think it's fine. I think I'm just going to do this. Ooh, yeah. So, upside of me not playing any council rooms is induced a dud from the bot, which is kind of nice. Alrighty. I think I've thrown a council room. Well, I can certainly play the first one because I know I've got another one down there. Let's see. I got 15 cards. If I just play 1 council room, I draw 8 of those. I play 2 recruiter. Sorry, I draw 4 of those with 2 recruiters, then I draw 8. Yeah, I think throwing a council room makes sense. Making sure I find everything. And I'll need to trash something for villagers, it looks like. Silver. Probably spices. If I don't need the plus buy, spices is just an expensive silver. So I think that can die. And I don't know what my bottom card is offhand. Province, because I have 18 points and I see 2 provinces. Okay. How much money is this? 1, 2, 12, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. If I thrown 2 sculptors gaining 4 silvers, that's 26. That's not a pile out or anything. What about gardens? Can I empty the gardens and spices? Let's see. If I gain 4 gardens off of sculptors, spices to pile out effectively cost 3 each because you gain the coffers and can immediately spin them. So I would need 12, 16. Well, it's just a win then, isn't it? Yep, there we go. Turn 11? Okay. Yeah, I mean, the bot stack looks pretty good. Took a lot of throne rooms, which, I mean, I do like throne room. I'm not going to complain. Again, it played with more total council rooms, and I didn't play with the landscapes, which seemed pretty good to me. I think I ended up with more payload just because I was playing it a little bit looser on how many council rooms I had in my deck. And it worked out all right. But, I mean, overall, this looks solid, I think. It should, I think, have the advantage off of the 5-2, although the 3-4 here does have good tools for getting to 5 reliably. So maybe it's not as much of an advantage as it seems at first glance. Yeah, pretty happy with my deck on the whole. It is also a very fast kingdom, so, you know, being player 1 is obviously an advantage in kingdoms like this. Let me go back and look at what the bot's turns look like after turn 2. So I found Recruiter turn 4. The recruiter opening is definitely strongest if you find it turn 3, because you trigger a shuffle, and so your recruiter is already going back into your deck before turn 4. You could conceivably even draw it a second time turn 4, but if not, you're guaranteed to find it in the next turn. Whereas recruiter turn 4 is fine, but it triggers a shuffle, and then your recruiter, it triggers a shuffle, and then your recruiter misses the shuffle. So it's an opening where it's really good if you find it turn 3. It's less good if you find it turn 4. And the bot had the reasonably good opening. I think it's still better than my opening, but like it's only a lot better if you find it turn 3 specifically. So the bot wouldn't have a huge advantage out of the opening. It's 3, takes a council room. I think Sculptor before council room might be a little bit greedy. Maybe that's fine if you've already played your recruiter and thin. I don't know. We did have a dud at a key point. That happened. Yeah. This is probably the point where the bot fell especially behind, is turn 10. Obviously, the bot's deck in theory accomplishes a lot, and if it finds none of its council rooms, and it doesn't. And, I mean, it had more council rooms than I did and still dudded. Although this was the turn I didn't play any council rooms. So, yeah, probably turn 10 had a lot to do with it, and otherwise this game would have been a lot closer.